guys, it's Connie here from Say It With Simplicity. That was a fast and fun little intro, but I think we'll slow this down a little bit and we'll actually go through this little project step by step so you could follow along here in Cricut Design Space. If you're new to my channel, I like to craft with my Cricut Maker and my Silhouette Cameo, and I do tutorials on Cricut Design Space and Silhouette Studio. So I hope that you'll join the growing number of followers that I have on my channel as we create for our home and families with our cutting machines. This is a really super simple little project, but we're going to be doing some welding, we're going to change some score lines into pen lines, we're going to do some slicing and attaching. And so if you'd like to learn a little bit more about those skills, I hope you'll join me here on Say It With Simplicity. This is a pen project. I used the gold medium marker and the black fine line pen, but if you don't have those, you can substitute what you have. With that, let's start a new project. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be working mostly with basic shapes here. And we're going to take a square and let's drag it over here to the middle so we can kind of see it better. But we're going to go up here to size and we're going to unlock our proportions and we're going to highlight the width and we're going to make that 3 and we're going to highlight the height and we're going to make that 5. And so you have what's about the size of an index card. And we can lock that back up again. And let's change this to white. So now we're going to go over here to our basic shapes again, and we're going to choose our square again and a circle. And this time we're going to take our square and we're going to unlock and make our height 0.125, or in other words, 1/8 of an inch. And we can lock that back up again. We're going to take our circle and we're going to leave the proportions locked. And we're going to highlight that and make it 0.25. And now we want to line up our little rectangle with our little circle. You can see them right here. We're just going to drag the circle close to the end of the rectangle. And now we're going to mouse over and select both of those. Or you could do that in the Layers panel. Hold down your Shift key and select both of those. And we want to go to Align, and we're going to center them vertically. And while they're both still selected, we're going to weld them together. Now maybe some of you have already guessed what we're going to do, but if you haven't, we're going to continue on. I'm going to put this up at the top, and you can see that it sticks out quite a bit here, but that's okay. I want to duplicate this 6 times. And now I'm going to drag one of them close to the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now I'm going to go over here to my Layers panel, and I'm going to hold down my Shift key. The top one is already selected. You can see that it's grayed out. And I'm just going to select all of these one by one. And you can see that it put a box around all of them. And I'm going to align them in the center horizontally. And then I'm going to distribute them vertically. And I'm going to group them. So now that we have that done, I'm going to sort of shift these over here a little bit. You can use your arrow key or just drag them. And it's starting to look a little bit more like a little notebook. So if you already guessed that, kudos to you. I'm just going to grab both of those and center vertically, and that's just going to shift them up and get them aligned to my little card. And it's up to you if you want these a little bit further away. I think that's a good place right there. So now what I want to do is I want to slice my notebook holes out of my card. And you can see I have these grouped. So I'm going to mouse over all of this, and you can see that slice isn't an option. If I ungroup this, I would have to go through these and select each of the holes and slice them one at a time. And so that's something about Cricut Design Space. You cannot slice multiple objects. And so, but let's go back here, and there's a little bit of a trick that you can use. Let's go ahead and let's select all of the notebook holes and let's weld them together. And now that brings them into one layer, so as if they're one object. And now if I mouse over both of these and I go down, my slice is available. And because I've welded them together, I can slice them all at one time. And so if you want to slice multiple objects in Cricut Design Space, you can weld them together and slice them all at one time. Now I can just get rid of these, and now the holes in my notebook are complete. So let's continue on, and I want to create some lines on my little piece of notebook paper here. So I'm going to go back to shapes, and I'm going to create a line. I'm going to go up here to rotate, and let's rotate that 90, and let's make it 2 inches long. And you can see that it's a dashed line because it's a score line right now. I want to change it to a pen line. So we're going to go through to the operation panel and change it to a pen line. And now this will become a solid line, and I can use it for a pen line, draw it with my pen. And let's duplicate that 5 times. And we'll do like we did before, and we'll line it up to the paper. Let's select all. Well, let's not select all. Let's go through the layers panel again and select all of these and align them horizontally and distribute them vertically and group them and bring them over here to our paper. And let's mouse over all of that, and we want to attach these, and let's just take a look at that. If I went to make this now, all of my lines would be on one mat and my notebook paper would be on another mat, and that's not what we want. We want them to be all together. So if we mouse over all of this and attach, then when we go to make it, our pen will draw right on our notebook paper. So now we have our notebook paper, we have our lines drawn. Let's create some text on this. So I'm going to create my text, and I want it to say P.S. I love, and we want to do U. I'm going to do that a little bit larger, so I'm just going to duplicate and do capital Y-O-U. Now you can see that this is a cut style font, and I want to make this into a writing font. So you could use Cricut Sans as a free font. Let's just go down here, and I want to apply a filter. I want to use writing fonts, and I have one that I like here, and you don't have to use this, you can use a free one, but I'm going to use this Alyssa font. And so you can see that changing it to writing, here's regular, and that's going to be your cut font, but you want to change it to the writing font so that you have that monoline font that will draw with your pen. So let's do that. We're going to go back here again. We applied that filter for our writing font, and let's go here and find our Alyssa font. And again, if this was on regular, this would be your cut style, and this is your writing style. So when you change your font, you want to be sure to change it to that writing style font. So let's make this a little bit smaller. I'm just going to rotate it a little bit. And I want to use my gold pen. So I have those markers. I'm going to change it to gold. And I also want to attach that to my card. Now I want to add one more thing, and I'm going to go to Images, and I'm going to go to Free, and let's add a heart. And you can see that there's quite a few free hearts that I can use. Let's choose this one. I can unlock the proportions and make it a little skinnier. And I'm going to cut out my heart out of some pattern paper, but for now let's just go ahead and make it red. And my design is done. All I need to do is send this to my machine, so I can click on Make It. And you can see that my card is going to draw here, and I'm going to be doing that on my white cardstock, and then here's my other cardstock. Now, one thing that I can do is I can do this all on one piece of cardstock. Let's make this 8.5 by 11. And maybe I just have some scraps or something that I want to use. Let's go back to our 12 by 12 mat. But let's go here and let's go up to our little dots. And we're going to move the object, and I'm going to move it back over to here. So how I did that was I went here, right? I want to move this, move object, select the white, and that will put these both onto one mat. So now I'm going to put my white paper over here, and I'm just going to put my little scrap of colored cardstock somewhere else on my mat to cut out my heart. And then I can click continue. And you can see then that this will cut out all on one mat. So I'm going to choose heavy cardstock. And it's prompting me to load my black pen in. And then it will prompt me to, it'll stop for loading my gold pen. And so I want to prepare my mat with my cardstock and my colored cardstock. And we'll see when we're done. So here's my basic mat setup, going to my maker. And now I'm just using a little bit of foam tape on the back of that heart so that I can stick it on to the little card. And here's just one more look at the finished project. These are really cute for gift tags, or a journaling card, or your scrapbook album. Let me know in the comments section below if you've done pen projects with your Cricut. And if you like this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.